RFK Jr. confirmed as HHS Secretary today, and the healthcare industry has stayed actually very quiet. Politico had an interesting piece on this. It said, quote, they haven't spoken up, even though he has accused of them of fraud and conspiracy and promised to hold them accountable. That's not because they aren't worried, but because they didn't think they could stop him, or they think the cost of speaking out would be too steep. By staying mum, they hope to limit the fallout if Kennedy follows through on his plans to strip the industry to the studs. Brownstone Institute founder Jeffrey Tucker joins me now to discuss. Jeffrey, always great to see you. What do you make of the silence from Big Pharma on RFK?
What we're dealing with is a mass movement that is basically furious about what happened in the COVID years when they shut the churches, shut the schools, shut the businesses, made us stay home, restricted our travel, said we couldn't have weddings and funerals, and couldn't visit grandma in her home. That was the level of intrusion on American liberty. And why did it happen? Well, we found out in time they had a special shot for us, and that shot came. They mandated it for us. It didn't perform the way they promised. And what you saw birthed out of that COVID experience over the last 5 years is mass incredulity and really a kind of fury and a curiosity. What is really going on beneath the surface here, and why did all this happen to us? So RFK's confirmation today represents, I would say, the ultimate repudiation of 5 years of what I would call basically hell. And so it's very invigorating and very exciting. I think the healthcare establishment knows this. Big Pharma knows this. They have to deal with it now. This is the new reality.
It's fascinating, Jeffrey, because we would have assumed there's huge lobby dollars going on in the background, senators being bought off to vote against RFK. We just didn't see that. And by the way, Politico went on to say this is why. The muted response is also a reflection of how much President Donald Trump has sacrificed traditional GOP constituencies to raise a populist working-class revolt on the interests that once held sway in the Capitol. So not only does Big Pharma not want to be on the wrong side of this movement, but senators. It's a movement. It's not simply an R&D trading of the White House and trading of D.C. It's a true movement, and I think that leaves everybody, industries and senators, going, I don't think it's wise to be on the wrong side of this movement.
Well, this is very exciting, I think, for everybody, because we're seeing the ways in which public opinion is actually working as a feedback loop to what our politicians are doing and what the government is doing, which is, by the way the founders set the system up. I mean, they had confidence that you could have some kind of back and forth relationship between the people and the system under which they live. A lot of us have wondered if that's really true for a long time, but we're seeing it happen now, and it's enormously encouraging and gratifying to see this work, to see democracy actually work the way our founders imagined it might.
Jeffrey, you're one of the smartest guys I know, but you're not the first person I've heard say that. I've heard it inside my own home, that this moment is empowering. It makes it feel like your voice matters as you see these things change. Now, as smart as you are, Jeffrey, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to dumb it down for just a moment, okay? I have to present to you some of the rebuttals to Elon Musk and DOGE from the left. Enjoy.
So not only are we going to stop the privatization of public education, we are not going to let them to destroy the Department of Education. Department of Education provides funding for 26 million kids who are living in high poverty areas all over this country. And we have the radical idea that maybe poor kids deserve the same quality education that rich kids do. That we're not going to turn our back on the black and the brown and Latino kids. That we're going to stand up for every kid in this country. Because we know that without a strong educational system, our democracy is going to be in trouble and our economy is going to be in trouble.
What I think is really important, and what the American public want, is for us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. This is an actual fight for democracy, for the future of this country, and it's important to push back on the chairperson of this committee.
Jeffrey, I asked for those two back to back, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, that is astounding to hear from Congressman Garcia. Bring actual weapons. They set the standard that that's violent rhetoric, and now they meet their own standard with a president who's twice had an assassination attempt. Bring actual weapons. But I asked for Bernie as well because Bernie is making an outdated argument, and what has been exposed about Bernie as he votes against RFK or whoever it may be, he's no different than Garcia.
Yeah, my sense of that moment when he was outed as a big pharma shill, that it was as important in our generation as the Hiss Chambers trials were in the 1950s. It was a shocking moment because this is the anti-corporate crusader who turns out,
right.
It's like Scooby-Doo episode. You pull off the mask and there's the mayor. And there's Bernie, shilling for big pharma. It was a shocking moment, and God bless RFK for doing that. It's very strange to me to have all these people basically defending an old order that everybody knows has completely failed. It's defunct. It's expensive.
Right.
There's no transparency. There's no normal accounting standards that every corporation would have. That's all that Musk is doing right now, is bringing normal standards of transparency and accounting to government, which, Will, I'm sure you saw this, but 4 days ago, 5 former secretaries of Treasury wrote in the New York Times that no elected politician or their appointees has had access to the federal books since 1946. I don't know if did you see that?
No, I didn't.
I mean,
and
even for me,
stunning.
That is shocking. And they were bragging about this and said this is the way it should continue. All we're asking for
ridiculous.
is a normal standards of accounting that you would get from any public corporation or any nonprofit, right, for that matter, or even the smallest convenience store down the street. You have to have accounting. The federal government doesn't have it.
I got to leave it here, Jeffrey. I like your point about the status quo, fighting so hard to preserve the status quo. And that includes, by the way, education. To offer a rebuttal to Bernie Sanders, how's that education been going for black and brown kids for the past half century that you want to preserve? How's it going? About like everything else in the status quo. Jeffrey Tucker, always smart, always makes us more educated when we get done listening to him, despite his bow tie and the Kodiak in his pocket that I know is sitting right there. Jeffrey, I'll see you next time.